Join us on our tour of the Annaberg Sugar Plantation. We had been quarantined on the boat for over a month in the BVI and USVI. We were itching for the chance to stretch our legs a bit and shake off the COVID-19 isolation blues. We found the best place to do it was at the Annaberg Historic Plantation ruins, part of the National Park System on the island of St. John.
Oh, what's this, a road? We haven't been outside of civilization for so long on this day, Friday, April 24th.
It's weird. Feels like we're entering zombie land.
Pretty flowers.
All right, we are here at the Annaberg Sugar Plantation, and I'll read you the sign real quick. The Annaberg Historic Trail. As you wander the ruins, picture the thriving 18th and 19th century sugar factory. Big rollers crushing the cane, juice pouring down to the boiling room, and everywhere the thick scent of rum and molasses. This was the Danish plantation era, when sugar dominated the island for 150 years. The quarter-mile walk takes about a half an hour. For your safety and to preserve the historic structures, please do not climb on the ruins. Keep your hands and feet inside of the car at all times. Enjoy the ride. Right now we are walking through what used to be the slave quarters. This was a massive heart of the slave trade back then, and these are the original foundations to a lot of the slave huts. Alright, so as we just came from, we talked about the slave quarters, and this shows a little picture of a little bit more how they used to look, how they were built. It says they were primarily used for sleeping and household storage. Typical wattle and daub huts with wooden stick walls, dirt floors, and palm roofs comprised Annaberg slave quarters on the slope below. The exteriors were plastered with fresh cow dung, clay, or a mixture of sand, lime, and water. Hey, what are those, babe? Are those mangoes? Limes or coconut?
I don't know.
Alright, hopefully you guys can see behind me. These are our boat neighbors in the harbor just yesterday, and the boat is called Sea Love, and they're also a dog boat. They had 2 dogs on board. Unfortunately, because of the quarantine and because we're trying to maintain our social distance, we couldn't make friends and let the dogs roam around. We had to stay our 6 to 12 feet away, but they seem like good cats, and looks like they're having a good rip out there.
Good cats. Dog boat, good cats.
Oh, it's raining. Come on. Over here.
Kate does not have her waterproof case on the camera today. Virgin Islands here. To our left closest here we have Mary Point. And Mary Creek that runs through there. Behind that is Great Thatch Island, and further on that is Joost van Dyke from the British Virgin Islands. Over to our right on the other side of this channel is Little Thatch Island. Frenchman Key is the closer of the islands. I'm not sure you can see it in the shot, but it's closer. And then behind that, the bigger, taller mountains are Tortola, which is the big main island of the British Virgin Islands. And then just to the right, you can see our boat, which is in Water Lemon Bay, or Water Lemon Key.
The windmill, as well as the rest of the factory, was built between 1797 and 1805. It could produce more juice than the horse mill and involve fewer people and no draft animals. So essentially lowered the cost of production significantly when the wind was low. Still power. That, my friends, is where they made their pizza. So what we're entering now would be the horse mill. And when it wasn't very windy, they would use horses rather than the wind to turn a mill to grind the sugar. So if you can imagine, there would be horses walking around the outside, or cattle of some sort, whatever they had here, and then they'd be tied to, giant logs or whatever that moved a grinder on the inside. Let's go check it out. So the grinder would be right here, and then you can imagine in this circle here, then the sugar cane juices would come out. It would float. Flow into this channel right here, and then flow out across here in a gutter, out to the boiling room. Super efficient production. Pretty cool stuff for back in the 1800s. All right, as you can see behind me, it's a giant hillside. Right now it's just covered with trees, but back in the 1800s it would have been terraced and manicured, and it would have been a huge plantation of all you could see sugar cane. And this sign shows a little bit about it, and then back down there, which will take you in a second, are some sugar cane plants that we can actually show you what the plants used to look like. The sign says, cane fields. The hillsides above were cleared and terraced. Sugar cane grew in rows, an even carpet 6 feet high. On the steep, dry slopes, slave labor seemed the only way to make a profit. In the foreground stands the factory building, where juice was refined into sugar and molasses. From horse mill or windmill, rivers of juice came flowing in the wooden troughs toward the boiling kettles. Here's the weird part. Like, look at the hinges that it had on it. Like, that was a heavy-duty gate that was here. Wonder if that was the jail. All right, we are standing in the boiling room at the Annaberg Plantation. The boiling room was one of intense heat, steam rising from huge cauldrons, a foreman shouting to watch the last copper. This empty ruin was once the heart of Annaberg's sugar operation. Slaves, and later paid workers, ladled the cane juice from kettle to kettle, gradually concentrating and purifying the boiling liquid. They then poured the juice into flat wooden pans where it cooled and crystallized into sugar. Timing was critical. If juice was removed too soon from the last kettle, it became molasses instead of sugar crystals. So as you can see, this is where the burning kettles used to be, and they would ladle one to the next to the next. And if you come on this way, it's kind of cool. You can see the remains of what used to be a giant iron kettle right here. So this must have been one of the main boiling kettles. And then behind us here, or underneath the kettle, you can see, if you look down this way, that there used to be somewhere, or I'm guessing they used to stick wood down there to make a fire. Would have been a really hot, smoky place to work.
Alright, this is the good part, the rum still. I'm going to read about it here for you. This platform supported the factory's rum still. Here, above a slow fire, workers poured mash, or in local Creole, mauby, a fermented mixture of water, molasses, and sugar-rich waste products from the sugar-making process, into the copper still. Alcohol vapors traveled in copper tubing from the still to the cistern behind it. There, the coils, immersed in cool water, converted the vapors to rum. Rum.
Check this out. This is where the rum came from the rum distiller and came into here, where it was likely bottled and stored. So this, I think, was the original rum room or bar. Give me some rum. Something very interesting about the way that this was built and how our conservation minds have changed. So a lot of this fort, or this plantation, was actually built with coral that was harvested from the bay below. People would actually go down and cut and hammer out coral out of the sea, then they would bring them up, cut them into bricks, and then put them in the walls. So you can really see the coral here. So these plantation owners back in the day were kind of the ultimate coral killers. So it's kind of amazing, when we anchor, we never try and anchor on coral. We always try and avoid it because it takes so long to grow and it's so important to our ecosystem. But back in the day, they had no idea, and they thought it was good to use to build bricks. So let's all keep our conservation minds and try and rebuild the damage that everyone has done to our coral.
Alright, so here you can see behind me is a spot where like sugarcane would grow, and being a hilly and mountainy here, it's really awesome climate, but not exactly the best terrain with that slope. So what they do is they kind of cut out like almost like a staircase, or what they call a terrace, so that the plants could root down and grow straight instead of trying to have their struggle on the hill. So that's kind of what we see behind us here. You can kind of see some of the rocks to keep the land straight and keep it shelved so that it doesn't slope down and plants continue to kind of fall down the hill. So that's what we have here behind us, the terrace.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube, and also follow us on Facebook for our most recent adventures.